two things. You're going to have the permissions of a traveler when, one, you get out of town. So we're going to see what that means. And two, you are going what's called shortening distance. So we're going to discuss that. Yani, a shortening distance from the edge of the town. You're going a shortening distance from the edge of the town, not from your house. Now, what does the edge of the town mean? Well, maybe your town has a wall. Let's say you are from Mustard Town. And Mustard Town has a wall. So as soon as you get outside the wall, number one, and then number two, you're going to go shortening distance to your other destination from the edge of your town to the edge of the town of your destination is a shortening distance. Then you're a traveler as soon as you get out of the town. But what does it mean to get out of the town? So let's say that your destination is here in Purple Town. You're in Mustard Town. You're from Mustard Town. You're from the Mustard Town. You're a Mustardian. You want to visit some of the Purpolians. So, but the thing is, yeah, let's say there is a shortening distance, which I didn't tell you how long yet. There is a shortening distance between the edge of Mustard Town here and Purple Town here. And let's say, for example, here's your house in Mustard Town. So it's all the way on this edge of the town. In the first place, you need to go through the town to get out of the town, for example. So as long as you're still inside the town, Yani, when you just get out of your house, you're not going to just be a traveler because you left your house, as long as you're inside the town. So then you're going to reach so if your town has a wall, then just getting out of the wall is enough. Then you are a traveler if your destination is a shortening distance from the wall of the town, from outside the wall. But let's say bordering Mustard Town is Blue Town. Right across the street. So you got out of Mustard Town, you see a sign that says, "Welcome to Blue Town," and all you did was cross the street. That means you're not a traveler yet because you're still inside the buildings. So really, Mustard Town and Blue Town are like one town because the buildings never stopped yet. And then to get to Purple Town, you still have to get through Blue Town and get into Green Town. So you're still not a traveler yet because you're still inside the buildings. And then after Green Town is Red Town. And so basically, you left your house, you went through Mustard Town, you went through Blue Town, you went through Green Town, you went through Red Town. You're not a traveler yet because all these towns are connected by buildings, all like one town. And then finally, you reach the point where the buildings stop. And from the edge of Red Town to the edge of Purple Town, there is a shortening distance. Then you're a traveler as soon as you get out of Red Town in our scenario here. But what if Purple Town, next to Purple Town, there was Yellowtown. And also, maybe there is Orangetown. And let's say you're going this way. Now, and then, so once, in order for you to get to Purple Town, you need to go through Orangetown and then go through Yellowtown, and then you're finally going to be at Purple Town. So, is the distance from Red Town to Orangetown a shortening distance? Is the distance from Red Town to Orangetown a shortening distance? If so, then you're going to be a traveler as soon as you get out of Red Town. And you're going to stay a traveler until you get to Orangetown. Although you don't want to go to Orangetown. That's not really where you want to go. You want to, Yanni, your destination, your true destination is Purple Town. But you're not going to get to Purple Town without going through Orangetown. If that's your case, then as soon as you get to Orangetown, then we look. Are you going to stay for 4 days or more? Because who's a traveler? Traveler stays at a destination for 3 days or less. Traveler stays at the destination for 3 days or less. SubhanAllah, that's the rule. Don't you know, brothers and sisters, the kind of person, like, for some reason, they just want to ask questions. So he's going to see the rules, going to be clear. Then he's going to just try to think how he can make a question and say, well, what if a person is not going to stay for 3 days, going to stay for 2 days like this, and then 4 days like that? So they just, because they want to ask a question. So they start just manufacturing questions. Don't be like that. Then you're going to be crippled in your mind if you do that. So when the case is clear, the case is clear. I'm saying that to you now because, Yanni, I'm becoming aware of it more, with more and more experience, encountering more and more people. So a traveler stays at his destination for 3 days or less. 3 whole days. 3 whole days. 3 whole days. That's important. Or less. So when we say stays at his destination means not as long as he's traveling. What if this travel right here? What if this travel right here is 1 month? Takes you, for example, a month to get from Red Town to Orangetown, just so you can get to Purple Town. Then you're going to be a traveler that whole time because you're traveling. But what if you stopped here at, let's say, here. You stopped here really quick at Greytown. You just stopped at Greytown for 2 days before you continue your trip to Orangetown. Then that's a destination right there. When we say a traveler stays at a destination for 3 whole days, you stopped at Greytown. Stopping there means that's a destination. So you stopped at Greytown in a town though. For 2 days. Then you're gonna still be a traveler inside those 2 days at Greytown. And then you want to leave Greytown to go finish your trip to Purple Town, and your next stop is Orangetown. So that's fine. But What if your destination from Redtown to Orangetown was a whole month? So that means that whole time you're a traveler. Once you get to Orangetown finally, now are you a traveler or not? Then you're gonna look how long you're gonna stay, because don't forget, all of this is like one thing now. Orangetown, Yellowtown, Purpletown is all like one thing because the buildings are connected. How long are you gonna stay in this town, which is really a metropolis? How long are you gonna stay in this metropolis? Metropolis meaning this group of towns, they have a main town and some other towns also that are around the main town, but they're all connected, not separated, at least in this case. So, how long are you going to stay in this town, which is actually a metropolis? 3 whole days or less? Then you're going to stay a traveler. 4 whole days or more? Then you're going to stop being a traveler as soon as you get to Orangetown. Although you want to ultimately get to Purpletown. Is there any questions so far? Okay, looks like there's no questions so far. What is this shortening distance? There's more than one saying about it. Here we are, the shortening distance. What is the shortening distance? There is more than one saying about it. So some said, here's the minimum saying, approximately 27 miles. That's American miles. So that's an approximation. I don't remember how many kilometers that is. Approximately. So that means your destination is, let's say, for being safe, 28, 29 miles away from the edge of the town where you left. Then, as soon as you get out of town, you're a traveler. And then when you get to your destination, if you're going to stay there for 3 days or less, you're going to still be a traveler. You're going to stay a traveler. And there's another saying, which is most famous saying. Most famous saying is 2-day walking distance. A 2-day walking distance, which is about 80 miles. 2-day walking distance means here, 2 days. Here's day one. Here's day two. 2 days. First day has a night and a daytime. Second day has a night and a daytime. So 2-day walking distance is 2 daytimes, not including night times. Or 2-day walking distance is 2 night times, not including daytimes. And also not including eating time, sleeping time, and prayer time. And another way you can measure 2-day walking distance is if somebody walked for a day and a night nonstop. Then that's 2-day walking distance. Day and night together is 2-day walking distance. Okay, any questions so far? All right. So once it's confirmed that you're a traveler, now Yani, it's clear, inshallah, if you're a traveler. Of course, the travel needs to be a lawful travel. Then you have the permissions of a traveler. Hold on 1 second. Let me just get some water, please. Let me answer a question for you. What if, going back here to this line between Redtown and Orangetown. So here we are between Redtown and Orangetown. What if the distance between Redtown and Orangetown were only, let's say, 15 miles? The distance between Redtown and Orangetown was only 15 miles here. So that would mean that you didn't cover enough distance to be a traveler, to have the permissions of a traveler, rather. To have the permissions of a traveler. But here's your house all the way in Mustard Town. And if you were to leave your house from this direction and then come all the way around. This way, you would eventually come to Orangetown here. And let's say if you go that way, it's going to be, like, let's say right now, it's like 70 miles now. You went the long way. Are you a traveler now? Now it depends. We look. Did you go the long way just so you can have the permissions of a traveler? Yes? Then you're not a traveler here. You do not have the permissions of a traveler. But did you go the long way for a reason, like to avoid the tolls? That's a valid reason. You don't want to pay the tolls on the way, so you go the long way. That's a valid reason. Or to avoid a checkpoint or some unjust person. That's valid. Then you would be a traveler for going the long way. Because the meaning of what I'm saying to you is just to travel, to have the permissions of a traveler is not valid to have the permissions of a traveler. Okay. So now I think this is all clear for you. If you have a question, feel free. Let's look here at this shortening and combining. Let's start with shortening. Shortening, you can shorten Dhuhr, Asr, and Isha. In order to shorten, what do you have to do? Intend, and after being a traveler, of course, intend to shorten during the takbir. So while you say Allahu Akbar with the intention to pray Dhuhr or Asr or Isha, you're going to be intending to shorten the 4 rakat prayer also. If you don't intend during the takbir, then you missed it. You need to pray your prayer full length. And that's it. That's so easy. What about combining then? So, as we said, you can combine Dhuhr and Asr. You can combine Dhuhr and Asr, and also you can combine Maghrib and Isha. What does it mean? It means that you can delay Dhuhr until Asr time. Or you can advance Asr until Dhuhr, forward to Dhuhr time. And you can delay Maghrib until Isha time. And you can advance Isha up to Maghrib time. How do you do it? You're going to also make the intention. And whether you want to delay or pray early, delay or pray early, the intention is going to be at the earlier time. Whether you want to delay or pray early, the intention is going to be at the earlier time. Because if you want to delay Dhuhr, if you want to delay the earlier prayer to the later time, let the time come in first, the time of the earlier one. Let the time enter, then intend to delay. Now, this doesn't mean you have to intend to delay as soon as the time comes in. No. It just means that you have to delay. You cannot intend to delay before the time comes in. You said, I heard one can shorten or combine for as long as they are a traveler. That's true. But that's why we just went through all this. Because the question is how long you're going to be a traveler. The traveler stays a traveler at a the traveler stays at a destination for 3 whole days or less, then he's a traveler. So he's gonna have he can shorten and combine the whole time because he's a traveler the whole time. But if he's gonna stay there for 4 days or more, then he's not a traveler as soon as he gets to the border. In our situation here, as soon as he gets to Orangetown, even though he wants to end up in Purpletown, as soon as he gets to Orangetown, meaning as soon as he reaches the point where the buildings start, he's going to stay there for 4 days or more. He's no longer a traveler. So then he doesn't have the permission to shorten or combine. So that is true. One can shorten and combine as long as he's a traveler. And I already said to you also, what if the actual time it takes to get from Redtown to Orangetown was a month? That's what we said the first time. So then that whole time you're a traveler. So what you said here is true. What you heard is true. And what matters here is understanding it properly. One can shorten and combine as long as he's a traveler. And even I need to actually adjust that. As long as he's a traveler here who traveled a shortening distance. As long as he's a traveler who traveled a shortening distance. Here's the word right here. Shortening distance. Shortening distance. Now I got arrows going all over the place and colors all over the place. How much is shortening distance? Of all the sayings, the least one is about 27 American miles. So, Yani, convert that. Whatever you use, kilometers, for example, convert 27 American miles to however many kilometers that is. That's like 40, what? Like 40, I don't know, 40 something kilometers, 48 maybe, 49. I don't know. He said, what if one goes to the mosque to pray with the imam? Ah, good question. So before that, hold on. We are just at the moment now making sure we know the actual process to make sure that our shortening and combining is valid. And I'm saying to you now, we're talking about combining. And we said, whether you want to delay the earlier prayer to the later time, which is Dhuhr until Asr or Maghrib until Isha, or you want to advance the later prayer to the earlier time, which is Asr at Dhuhr time and Isha at Maghrib time, then you're going to make the intention, and you should know that that intention, either way, is going to happen in the earlier time. That intention, either way, is going to happen at the earlier time, because if you want to delay the earlier prayer to the later time, you can't do it until the time comes in. So you got to wait for the time to come in, and then sometime during the time, intend to delay. Maybe you're still not sure. It might be actually Dhuhr is in. Now Dhuhr is in. And you're doing whatever you're doing on your trip. And maybe you're still deciding, should I delay Dhuhr until Asr? Or should I bring Asr forward and pray it at Dhuhr time? I'm not sure. Let me make this quick run though, before I make that decision. So you need to make that decision before Asr time comes in. Or else pray your Asr at Dhuhr time. So to delay the earlier prayer, to delay the earlier prayer to the later time, let the time come in first. And then sometime during that earlier time, which is Dhuhr or Maghrib, intend to delay your prayer until the later time, which is Asr or Isha. And if you want to advance the later prayer to earlier time, start the earlier prayer. Then intend sometime while you're praying, anytime while you're praying, intend to advance the later prayer. Anytime while you're praying, it means even while you're saying the salam. If while you were saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, you were intending to bring Asr forward or intending to bring Isha forward, that's valid. Then intend to advance the later prayer to the earlier time. I think that's clear. Do you have any question, please? Besides this question about praying with the Imam, I'll come to it, inshallah. About what I said here. Okay. And though, if you want to pray early, there is something else you have to do. Yeah. If you want to pray early, to advance the later prayer to the earlier time, then you also must pray later prayer immediately after the earlier one. Must pray the later prayer immediately after the earlier one. So when you pray Dhuhr and you intended to bring Asr forward and you want to pray Asr at Dhuhr time, you must pray that Asr directly after Dhuhr and don't wait, or else you're going to have to pray it at its own time. You'll miss it. And same thing for Maghrib and Isha. Okay. So pray the later prayer immediately after the earlier prayer. Yes. That's when you are bringing forward, not delaying. When you're bringing forward, not delaying. Because when you delay, yani, khalas. That's for praying early, not later. If you have a question, feel free to ask. If you're praying later, if you're praying Dhuhr at Asr time, then you can separate them. You don't have to pray them back to back. Because the time is Asr's time. So you can pray Asr anytime in Asr time. Now, to answer your question. Your question is, what if one goes to the mosque to pray with the Imam? So the answer is, it is invalid for someone to, it's invalid for someone shortening his prayer. For someone who's shortening his prayer, it's invalid for someone shortening prayer to pray behind a prayer of full length. It is invalid for someone who's shortening the prayer to pray behind a prayer of full length, like Fajr. So what if he's a traveler, is praying Dhuhr as 2 rakats, and he came across someone who's making up Fajr prayer, 2 rakats. Can he follow him? No, he cannot. Because Fajr prayer is being prayed here at full length. And it's not valid for someone who's shortening his prayer to pray behind someone who's praying at full length. Likewise, Jumu'ah. If you're following the Imam in Jumu'ah, you cannot shorten your prayer. Even though his is 2 rakats and yours is 2 rakats if you shorten. Because the Imam in the Jumu'ah prayer is praying at full length. That's the rule. That's the rule. It is invalid for someone shortening the prayer to pray behind someone praying at full length. So that's my answer to your question. If you want to follow up, feel free. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Any question about any of this? The traveling, the permissions? We covered a lot of information today. Subhanallah.